Well, hello again, everybody. I hope you're all doing very well. Tonight, I wanted to take a look at this McIntosh C52 preamp that we have. As you may remember, on my previous video, I actually replaced the entire front glass on a MR88 tuner. And so tonight I wanted to address another much requested type of McIntosh repair that we're probably going to be seeing more and more often on this generation of preamps, amplifiers, etc. But especially these little meters seem to have a lot of issues. And you'll find these meters on everything from the tuner receiver combos like the MAX 6700, the MA8950, the MA7900, preamps, etc., this smaller meter. And what tends to happen is over time, or just from factory defects, these meters get lazy and they won't actually move anymore. The light still works and everything, but the meters just no longer function. And so on this one, if I am not mistaken, it is actually this meter on the left-hand side that is lazy. It's not completely dead, but when it is functioning, it kind of just barely moves. So I have placed an order for the new meter for that side from McIntosh for a regular person. If you're not a dealer, etc., that meter is about $175 plus shipping. And I have verified in another unit and also by adjusting the trim screw that's on the front of this that it is actually bad. It wasn't just stuck or dirt in there or anything like that. So I'll kind of show you that when I pull the meter out. I'll show you something that you can check to see if the meter is actually bad or if it's just kind of frozen up, which does happen occasionally if they sit for a long time. But on this one, this meter is actually bad. So I'm not going to power it up or anything. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, if you know McIntosh, you know how these meters work, and this one does not move anymore. So on this video, we're going to basically showcase how to replace one of these meters, which has somewhat similar way to get to it as replacing the whole glass. But thankfully, we don't need to go that far. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this unit over and remove the bottom cover to start with. And I'll rejoin you after I have done that. All right, welcome back. As you can see, I have the unit flipped over now, put down a nice, fun, soft surface for it to sit on. And I have removed all of the perimeter screws here on this bottom cover, which need to come off pretty much before you can do anything internal with these units. Shout out, by the way, to Joe's Classic Video Games over there, also doing our repair on a Popeye's arcade machine. Really cool channel. I've learned a lot from them. But anyway, yeah, so these bottom covers have to come off on almost all of these pieces of McIntosh gear. Over there also you can see the McIntosh MR88 tuner that we did the glass replacement on yesterday, or on the last video, excuse me. And so take the cover off, and then that will pretty much give you access to the bottom of the unit here. There are other component level repairs that you can do on this side should you ever need to. But also a couple of things to do while you are here. You're going to want to disconnect, at least on the C52. Remember, each model is slightly different, but they're all kind of using the same topology to connect. You want to go ahead and disconnect this flat flex cable here and this one here. And you just kind of firmly but carefully pull up on those. You can kind of tuck this one underneath, or put, actually, yeah, you can tuck it there, and that will allow you to get it out of the way. Those are going to need to come out. These here do not need to be removed, just these, and that's where I was saying you can tuck that one underneath there. and then you're kind of getting started. So the next step is I have to remove screws at the bottom here, and while I remind myself which screws those are, I will take those out and then I will come back and join you again. Just cutting in here to say, for the replacement of the meter, you don't actually have to take any more screws off the bottom. Once you get the bottom cover off, all you need to do is, again, just like most of these McIntosh units, you're going to have 2 screws up here at the top on this U-shaped plate, and then 2 on either side. And once you lift that off, that will give you access to the trim pot controls for the color of the meters, and all of the screws that you need to further remove it from the chassis. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those screws, and then I'll join you back on the other side. And with that cover removed, there I have the cover sitting there. It's a very simple, just kind of a U-shaped piece of metal. Now you can actually see down into the components for the meter assembly. These trim pots here on either meter, these actually control the intensity and the color temperature essentially of the blue that you see that's actually illuminating the meter. So you can adjust those. Just make sure that whatever you do to the other meter as well to keep it uniform. Basically, that is a option that they did so that you could, if you had a mix of older and newer McIntosh equipment, say you had like a MC7200 amplifier with this more modern preamplifier, by adjusting these little trim pots, you can actually get the color intensity and hue of the meter color to match your older McIntosh product more closely. Those MC7270s, 7200s that had incandescent lighting were more to a teal color, a lighter green or bluish color, whereas these newer ones have a real intense blue hue. So using these trim pots, you can actually get your newer equipment to match your older equipment. So the next thing we're going to do, really the last thing we have to do to get the front panel off, is these 4 silver screws here need to come off. There's 2 there and 2 on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and then I will rejoin you on the other side. Okay, everybody, just cutting in here to say I'm on the last screw here, and just wanted to say that because the feet are not on the unit, there is a height mismatch between where the front panel is actually setting down and where the back of the unit is setting. So once you take out this last screw, don't be alarmed. This back piece is actually just going to drop down a little bit. So keep a firm hold on the front panel, just so it doesn't come tumbling forward or anything like that. Yeah, there is a slight height mismatch between these 2 parts. You could also put something in here beforehand, but it's such a shallow height there that just holding on tightly to the front panel should be sufficient. All right, and there you have it. There is the front panel here, all self-contained, separated from the brain box and all the electronics back here that do the audio switching and volume and everything else. Basically up here you have your control panel board, you have your lights for the meters, you have on the units that have the 8-band EQ, this is basically most of the EQ functionality here. If you have a C2800 or a C2700, C2500, etc., obviously this board will not be here on those because you don't have the EQ in lieu of the tubes that you do have. So the next items that we need to remove, the next fasteners that we need to remove are actually these 2 little nuts right on the back of the meter. And what those will do is basically separate the meter from the, separate the lighting box on the back from the meter itself. And then the meter will just lift off of the pegs that it's on. So I will go ahead and rejoin you once that is complete. Okay, folks, got the fasteners there removed. So now you're just going to very carefully just lift off this back box. This is your LED meter illumination. You can just set that on the side. And now, as you can see, the meter will come off. However, before we can actually complete the replacement of the meter, we need to disconnect it from here. And this is actually another two-handed operation because that, at least in my experience, is a pretty firm connector. So what you can do is you can actually slide a very thin screwdriver here. There's actually a push-down tab right about here. But if you slide a screwdriver between the body of the actual back of the connector and the front piece and push down, you can push down on that tab through there and get a little bit of leverage very carefully so that you can actually remove this connector, because sometimes just by hand, this will not come loose. So I will rejoin you once I've got that disconnected, and then we'll take a look at the front. All right, everybody, got the meter removed and disconnected from the connector on the board. So I went ahead and just temporarily, placed the meter lighting board back in its place just so it's not flopping around. And I just wanted to show you real quick that before you go ahead and replace one of these, and of course, to be sure, everything that I'm showing you is, at your own risk, but these are this is not real high level electrical repairs. You're not soldering or anything like that. But you'll see there is here a very little set screw or adjustment screw. And if your meter is sticking and not moving, what you can try is you can actually try very carefully and very slowly to kind of work this back and forth just a little bit each way. And you'll see that it basically sets the 0 point for your meter. And once you kind of move that a little bit, the meter should actually start to, if it's just stuck because it's been sitting a while, that will be usually enough to get it to actually kick into operation again. However, if you try that and it's still lazy, then you're looking at a meter replacement. But no matter what you do, always go ahead and try to make note, even if you just put a little spot of marker or something here of where the screw was located, so that you don't lose your 0 point on the meter. In case that is all it needed, you don't end up in a position where you're not zeroed out properly anymore. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys now and go ahead and unbox the new meter, and then we'll go ahead and start buttoning everything up and get some footage of the new meter actually working once it is in place. Alrighty, folks. Well, for y'all, it's probably been about 10 seconds. For me, it's been a couple of weeks. And right there is the reason why I had to order a new meter for this C52 from McIntosh. Real quick, it took about a week and a half to arrive. Very painless ordering process with them, as always. And so getting back to where we were, obviously the first thing that we want to do is this meter has a protective sticker on the glass. So obviously you want to take this off, as it's going to just probably turn yellow or something over time. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that removed, and then I'll rejoin you once I'm putting the meter back here, which is the reverse of what we've already done in starting the process, but we're going to get it all back together now. All right, and there is your meter with the adhesive removed. So basically the reinstallation procedure, obviously this is very straightforward, but you're going to just put this back on the studs here, just like that, real simple. You're gonna go ahead and move your connector out of the way, just for the time being. And then this is your LED board here. that has the lighting for the backlighting for the meter, like I was telling you before. These are your trim pots that allow you to adjust the color intensity and hue. We're not going to do anything with that because none of that changes. So you're just going to go ahead and reinstall that. And then these little nuts right here go back in place, and I'll rejoin you once this is put back together. Okay, and there we are, all put back together. There's a lot of room to work here. Honestly, these McIntosh machines are just a breeze to work on, most of them. These little bolts right here are very easy to tighten by hand, and you don't want to go much tighter than you can really go with your fingers. But you can use a pair of pliers like that in order to just give them a little bit of extra torque. They don't need a lot. You don't need to go crazy tight on these. And so that's back on, and then you just take your little connector lead and that plugs in here. Give it a little bit of help by holding it from the edge of this, and then just bring it in like that, and as you see, it clicks in place. So now the next thing you'll see is the meter replaced on the front side. Okay, and there is our replaced meter. As you can see, the coloring and everything matches the other meter, and it just kind of pops right in and fits right where it goes. The next step will be reuniting the faceplate with the main chassis. And one quick tip when you are reuniting your faceplate portion with the main chassis, you might want to slide something like a tool with a nice rubber handle under here that won't damage the chrome finish, and we'll just elevate it just enough on both sides so that when you make this connection, obviously when you stand this face up, it actually stands a little proud of the top of the connection points here because the bottom case is still not reattached. So that'll help you if you're trying to finagle this with, two hands. Just put something under here like a tool handle or something shallow and small that will allow you to match up the height a little better, and then it won't be so much trouble. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I've placed the rubber handle of the little pliers there on one side, and then on the other side a coaster with the bubble packing that came from the meter, and that will give me just about, hard to take a video of this, but it gives me just about enough clearance there to get the screws in without having to hold up the back also. Okay, there you have it. Faceplate is back on the front. As you can see, the screws are back in place on both sides. And now it's the top panel here that we're going to reattach. Okay, everybody, forgive the fingerprints, but as you can see, top screws back in and your two side screws here. And that's it. Now we just flip the unit over and put the bottom cover back on, and we're good to go. One last thing, everybody. It's always something small that gets you. Don't forget to reconnect these flex plate cables before you put everything back together, because you will be removing the bottom cover. Fortunately, in this case, just the bottom cover, but yes, let this be another reminder. I am not a professional, so everything that you're seeing is just my personal experience with these devices. So, of course, anything that you work on at your own risk. But it's good to have an idea of what you're looking at, and all of these McIntosh devices are very easy to work on. So I will rejoin you once it's all put back together and up and working. All right, folks, there she is, rocking and rolling. New meter in place, working great. Everything looks wonderful, and just a cream puff of a McIntosh preamplifier here, one owner unit, real nice. So there you can see that everything is functioning properly back together. That's really the point of my repair videos, especially on this McIntosh gear. It's very high-end gear. It can be intimidating, especially since a lot of this newer gear is out of warranty for most people at this point. Or if you acquired it, pre-owned, a lot of times you don't get any warranty. And so it can be very useful and save you a lot of money to know how to do some of these repairs yourself. I mean, look at me, I'm no professional. This is a kitchen table here that I'm working on. And, you know, very basic tools, nothing special. That's my MR88 glass replacement video there that's playing. You know, the iPhones don't have a lot of output through the headphone jack, so I've got it cranked up so you can really see the meters moving, but that's pretty much all there is to it. So, you know, a lot of these parts and pieces on these McIntosh products are all very modular. It's a lot like modern car production. So things like the meters, the glass, these displays, like this display here, I believe they sourced all of these from a company called New Haven Display. Fun fact. I have not checked, but it may actually be possible to order those 2-line displays with the model number on the back of the display directly from the vendor. And in a lot of cases, some of these repairs can take weeks through your local technician, if you even have somebody locally that's either McIntosh authorized or that you trust to work on your McIntosh gear, and could be hundreds or up to $1,000 for a lot of these very simple repairs that just take diligence and a steady hand and a little bit of time, and you can do it yourself. So hope to see y'all soon with some more fun content. I'm not sure what's really coming for this channel. Maybe more repairs, maybe some demos or tests of equipment, unboxings. It could really just go in any direction. But for now, that is the McIntosh preamplifier meter replacement, successful change out, and we'll see y'all on the next one.